You should be able to unmute now, Chris.
Okay.
There you go.
Hey, I'm Chris. I'm an alcoholic. All right. So thanks, Patrick, for inviting me to speak. I heard some good things today, man. I heard some day counts, 1 day, 3 days, 9 days, 12 days, 37 days. It's just amazing, man. It reminds me of how hard it was just to get that 1 day in the beginning, man. I'm a guy that tried this my way for a long time, and I multiple white chips, couldn't get this thing at all, but also wasn't willing to do what it took, what was suggested as, into a program of recovery. I have worked the steps. I do have a sponsor. I am sponsoring guys, and my sobriety date is February 13th of 2019, only by the grace of God. But I'm a guy that, the last thing I tried was the first thing that worked. And that was doing it somebody else's way and listening and following a program that was already out there for me. I didn't have to carve a new path or try to do anything different. All I really had to do was follow the path that's already been laid out. And I'm so grateful for this program that has allowed a guy like me a way out, a way of out of myself, a way of a true purpose in life. And it's just it's a real miracle to see guys come back from the gates of hell and it's living productive citizens once more. It's a real testament to God and to the people that divine spiritual intervention for the guys that founded this program. But my story starts out, I'm just a straight junkie, man. I'm started out alcohol at a very early age. Weed ensued, cocaine, you name it. It's all part of my story. But it ended up being just heroin, and I was a guy that literally passed out.
I was worried about this. He's driving, so he's probably going to go from cell to cell. Got cut out for a couple there.
You can hear me or no?
Yeah, just about 2 sentences.
Okay. So you couldn't hear anything or nothing? Or what?
Nothing for about 2.
All right. For how long? All right. So anyway. All right. So just a straight heroin addict, straight heroin junkie. To the point where I was living, as one say, to just to drink, just to use drugs, just where my next high was. I came to a point where I was a slave to this disease. I didn't care who I hurt. I didn't care what I had to do to get it. It just, my disease said go, I went. And it was a real shitty life, man. I woke up many days, in tears, just not wanting to live this life anymore, but couldn't stop. Part of my story is, felonies, drug court, broken marriages, foreclosure on houses, because I gave that stuff away, and I gave these freedoms away to live a life that I wanted to live, or I thought I wanted to live. But the book's pretty clear on this. On the top of 24, it tells me that I lost the power of choice. I went to a point where I didn't have a choice of anything I did anymore. I couldn't draw in the sufficient force, the pain of a week, a month, or even a day ago. I could not remember that pain because I had to go. I had to get that high. So, it tells me, if I don't have a choice, you go down to the bottom of that page, and it tells me I only have 2 choices today, right? It tells me that I can go on to the bitter end, living a life, blotting out consciousness, and basically die the alcoholic death, or I can live by spiritual principles. And that's what I choose to do today. I try to be those third step promises. I try to get out of myself on a daily basis. Today, Patrick kind of alluded, I'm driving back from taking a good friend of mine, a guy to a rehab center that I was also there with. I don't say that for kudos or anything like that, but one thing they tell, those third set promises, is he is the father, I'm the child. He's the director, I'm the actor, and he is the principal, and I'm the agent. And my job today is to try to be an agent of God, to give away what was so freely given to me. The book talks about, I've struck gold, man. But I can't keep one single morsel of it, and that's pretty foreign to a guy like me, man. That if I get some gold, I'm going to the pawn shop and do something with that shit, But like, what I'm supposed to do now, I'm supposed to give away this stuff, man. And this, it's a really, really, really foreign concept, but a beautiful idea that I try to embrace today. And it's all as a result of this program. So I went to a treatment center, upon getting sober, and one of the benefits of going to the treatment centers are all AA. I've been to the ones that they want to do equine therapy. They want to, I've had, you name it, I've been through it. I've tried it, several different ways. But one thing that, really is when you're just left alone with a big book and you're told to read it, for hours and hours, maybe an hour or so a day. And you're constantly, somebody's like feeding you. Hey, what does this mean? What does that look like in your life? You're able to start drawing back and having a design for living, and that's kind of what it was for me, man. It was an opportunity to finally get something and then like be able to revert back to it when I'm faced in certain situations in a day. If I'm getting angry, resentful, or afraid, what am I supposed to do with it? Well, the book clearly tells me. So, one thing it really did was it told me about the disease of alcoholism. It tells me I have a disease, which is the foundation of this program, man. It tells me, I got this physical allergy, right? As soon as I put it in my body, I can't stop. I can't stop with just one, or I can't do any of this. I can't just have a joint. If I'm going to do a joint, it might as well be a heroin needle. Like it's just going to go ahead and go to that point. But then there's something else that comes on that allergy, because if I could just stop, if I never put it in my body, then it'd be fine, right? I wouldn't need to keep coming to meetings or doing any stuff where just, abstinence. No, it talks about this obsession of the mind as well. Like when I stop, I can't stop thinking about it. Can't stop thinking about how much get it, what's going on in the world without me, are they having fun with, all this shit that goes on inside my head, because I have a disease of the mind. I have a disease that tells me, that time is my solution, that it's just heroin and I could drink a beer. It tries to talk to me in my own voice, and that really takes time and step work to actually alleviate this obsession. So it tells me that, and then it goes into the spiritual malady. I wasn't a big guy that wanted to have anything with God. I didn't think God wanted anything with me. All I had was a bunch of shame and guilt when I came to this program, right? Of things that I did and no God would want me. But that's exactly what this book is about. It tells me that the main purpose of this book is to get me in touch with a power greater than myself that can solve my problem. That's on page 45, and that is the cliff notes, the everything, the mission statement, whatever you want to say for this program, and what I try to do today. I had to believe that there was a power greater than myself, because alcohol was too powerful, right? I was fucked with it. I was fucked without it. I couldn't live with it. I couldn't live without it. And I had to have something greater than that to conquer that obsession. So, and it says come to, so it was gradual for me. My concept in the beginning was just, I'll believe that you believe, and we'll go from there. And it's evolved. But that step 3, man, it was just, look, dude, that's where they started pulling this flip game on me. They started saying, okay, well, you thought alcohol was the problem. No, the real problem is you're selfish and self-centered, and you think everything's about you. You can't live in harmony with the world. You're constantly trying to be the director. You're trying to do all these different things, but your role is just to be the actor. Do the best of what you got and not have to interject or find fault in every little thing. The book is pretty good about the illustrations of me being an actor trying to arrange the lights and do all this other stuff, when really all I'm supposed to do is just play my part and do the best I can and do whatever God puts right in front of me just to do it. So that was eye-opening, to say the least. And today, I still have, and that's probably where my biggest conflict, if anything happens, is, something's not bearing fruit in my life, it's probably some self-will that's going on there. So it's a constant thing to keep trying to keep that struggle and surrender. If I'm struggling, have I really surrendered it? When you get into that fourth step, where you're getting down to some causes and conditions, right? You're starting to look at this as a business and taking inventory of unsaleable goods. And one of those businesses is, for me, is the first thing you talk about is resentment. This resentment is deadly. They call it poison. So as a heroin addict, these are the poison that I'm putting in my veins, these resentments I'm trying to nurse and hold a grudge. And, for the alcoholic, it's just deadly. Like, I gotta live in the sunlight of the spirit, man. I gotta live free of these. So sitting down and, looking at these things and putting them on paper, the harms that I've caused, sex conduct, but most of all, the fears. Like, why am I so self-reliant? Why am I not trusting God here? Why can't I just trust God when everything I've done in myself has been an absolute failure? Any life ran on self-will can hardly be a success. It's pretty clear about that in the book. So you sit down and like, I can't see past my own hand a lot of times. Self can't see self, and I'm able to sit down and talk to God, to myself, and to another human being, and tell them these things, and you come to find out they're just like you. You can't. I haven't heard anything in the fifth step or said anything in the fifth step that shocked anybody or been shocked. So, you get past these fears and you just work the steps and things start happening. And when you do that fifth step, that's the first time that they talk about this drink problem, the feeling that this drink problem will almost be solved. It's the first time when they start talking about obsession being removed. But you're also trying to see where these unsaleable goods are at, and these character defects that you don't want anymore. That just aren't serving you, aren't serving the purpose, aren't really service to others or to God. And you want to get rid of these so that you can be maximum service to God and to the people about you. For me, that was huge. I don't want to do a lot of things. I don't want to do shit. I didn't really want to drive to 3 hours away today on my day off. But this is what God laid in front of me to do today. And you know what? It feels good doing it. It feels good getting out of myself and helping somebody else. Like I said, it's a foreign concept for me. But I asked God to remove these, and I jump into 8. I look back at my 4th step, where my harms were, and I make a list, and I go and I make a plan. And then I go out and I do this plan, and first thing I do, I don't tell people I'm sorry. I'm trying to work on a new way of life, right? Where I'm trying to show you I'm sorry. I'm trying to right these wrongs in my life, where I can have these 9-step promises come true in my life, right? Where I can look the world in the eye. I can then get unblocked from the people about me, the people that have caused all these harms. And when you're a guy that steals a lot of shit like I did, you got a lot of wrongs to right. And it's kind of, I'm still in the process of righting these wrongs, but I'm willing to do it because it tells me in the book that if I'm not willing to do these things, I will drink. And for an alcoholic like me, to drink is to die. So we get on these 9-step plans. We make a beginning. We start. We're trying to make out the best plan we can. And then we jump into 10, where I'm doing daily spot check inventories like I did on 4. I'm watching for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. Right? And it talks about how to stay in fit spiritual condition. Well, I watch for these things crop up. I ask God to remove them at once. I make amends quickly if I've harmed anyone. I turn my thoughts to someone else, not about myself. And I discuss it with someone if I need to discuss it with them, just like on the 5th step. If I'm doing that, I'm doing a little spot check, but I'm also, keeping self at bay. Is what I like to say. Just try to just elimination of self is designed for this whole program. So I go to 11th, man, and I got things that tell me what I'm supposed to do upon awakening. Some things I'm supposed to do when I retire at night. And when I retire at night, I ask myself some questions. And they're the same, basic 4. Where was I selfish? Where was I dishonest? Where was I resentful? Where was I afraid? I'm constantly keeping this. Where have I caused harm? What could I have done better? And I actually put pen to pad and I write these things down, and I'm able to look back on it and see growth, or I'm able to see where I could have done a lot better. this thing is a real simple program, but then it tells me, I'm only supposed to pray for knowledge of God's will for us and the power to carry that out, right? That's it. I'm just asking for God's will on a daily basis, man. I do this one day at a time. But it says 12, haven't had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps. I try to carry this message to alcohol. One thing I try to do, man, I try not to mix this thing up. I don't try to interject my opinions too much. I try to carry the message that was carried to me of the book of Alcoholics Anonymous. I try not to carry the mess. And I try not to carry the disease. When I'm asked about something, what does the book say? And I think one of the big things about being a sponsor is being sponsorable. I have to still think that I'm not too self-righteous. I still have to reach out and talk to certain people about certain things in my life. But, you're talking to a guy, all right, that had prison over his head 3 years ago. Caught 2 felonies back to back. I had no car, no license, nothing going for me. Basically, I told you, living to drink and drive. And today it's totally different, right? I used to walk into a room and people would hide their purses and lock doors and ask when I was leaving. Today they're asking me when I'm coming back. They ask me, hey, can you stay longer? And that's a foreign thing. They used to kick my ass out of a lot of rehabs. They love to kick me out of rehabs. Today, as a result of these steps, they ask me to come back and work there for them. They ask me to come back whenever I can to carry a message and speak. And I'm telling you, man, it's not me. It's a power greater than myself that's allowed for these things to happen. And when I tell you that, like, if you got 1 day or 2 days, 3 days or whatever, and you don't think this shit will work for you, I did. I didn't think so either. It might work for everybody else, but it won't work for me. Until I did it, until I found out this program, it works for everybody if you're willing to do it, if you're willing to put in the work, and you're willing to make some change in your life. Today, man, I got some great things. And it's not about the gifts of sobriety, but it's about like the serenity that I get. It's able to match calamity with serenity. I'm a big, guy that says, sobriety has a look and a feel. Tell me you're sober without telling me, your day count. Tell me how you react to shit. When things don't go your way, when life doesn't throw you limits, what do? Right? I mean, it's like, we're not always going to be happy, joyous, free. Things are going to happen in life. I've lost loved ones in sobriety. I've lost countless friends, guys, that won't give themselves to a simple program. Right? But one thing about it, man, is I'm going to be a light. I want to show you today that this program works, but really I want to show you the power of God in my life today. My life is completely different, man. I have, I can probably tell you material things are great, but I mean, I have friends that will call on me to ask me to do things, ask me advice. Nobody wanted to know advice from me unless they wanted to know how to steal something or, con somebody in the past, and it's just a total different lifestyle. But how I do it, man, I just try to do what's right in front of me. I try to help people that need help. I try to do what people did for me, and it's been a beautiful thing in my life today. I'm so grateful for this program, Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't think I could ever repay what's been freely so given to me. So I'll just continue to do what works, man. I'm a satisfied customer, and Patrick, I appreciate you asking me. But that's all I got tonight.